Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, it's Tuesday, the first Tuesday of the year, which means it's the first request map of the year. And the request list is so long at the moment that I feel that we've got to boost the creator requests to the top. And this is the longest waiting creator request map on the list as it stands. So anyway, what can I tell you about the map in advance? Well, first of all, it's not too bad at all. It's a bit different. A little bit different, but playably different. It has a kind of industrial harbour kind of feel to it, with a slightly different, slightly unusual shape. And that shape is accounted for in the description, where we have a lovely backstory written. I say it's a lovely backstory. I've read it, and it's a little bit hard going. It's not one of those like fluffy, flighty little stories. It's well, you'll see. You'll see. You'll probably just want to skip it, and I'll give you the juicy bits when we're doing the flyover. But before we do the flyover, it's time, of course, for a daily reminder. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people, and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Swamp on the Rocks, which is a really fascinating name by per person. I can't say P person, it can't be done. Per person, 25. There's your start square. I'd like to see slightly more water going through it, but it looks workable to me. I would say, yeah, good, go for it. Then we have terrain heights, which is flattish in the middle and bumpy around the edges. Definitely an interesting build location. Very strong resources. If you want to do any sort of resource-based game, you are good to go on this one. And if you've got Sunset Harbour and want to do some fishing, we have all of the little fishies everywhere. Everywhere they are, apart from on the land. Off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, no DLC is required today. There is a one-click collection, so ignore those things on the right. We'll look at the one-click in a moment. And the description is mostly the backstory. And you know what? I enjoy it. But yeah, the formatting and it's well written, but it feels like I'm reading an essay. Okay, off to the one-click collection. There are a few things on here I would say are not absolutely required, but hey, there we are. We have the movable bridge mod again. We'll see a lifting bridge today. And we've got the realistic temperate 1.5.5 theme, along with the chiaroscuro LUT, which should be the realistic 1.2 LUT, but I forgot to switch them out. I'm sorry. And then, like I say, a medium length list going on there. We're also using Theme Mixer 2 today because there is a requirement to switch out the sand from the base theme for a custom sand. And that custom sand is, well, the vanilla temperate sand, the base game sand for temperate, which I think's a bad shout. Personally, there are so many other sands you can switch to. The problem with the vanilla sands is the alpha channel, so these technical asset creators tell me. The alpha channel, which is how they sort of like blend and merge and bleed the textures together, it's not the cleverest. And so coming up to the first intersection shebang going on here. Something interesting going on here, by the way, as well. See how it all sort of like peels off there and dead ends? And then we've got this buildable space here, and the highway goes looping around it. If you do choose to build on this little section here, and I don't remember what it said in the description about it, but if you do choose to build on that area, you'll just be careful to make sure that the traffic goes slow or has to loop the long way round on the inside, or you'll have traffic shortcutting and avoiding the highway, and you really don't want that one. There was a little bit of terrain glitching there. Yes, we'll see that a little bit more in the show, but we'll skip over that for now. If you follow the highway, it loops all the way around the bay, which is pretty neat. And then you've got this slightly ugly, slightly American looking, but it is an American style map, intersection going on there. It's not the prettiest, but I do like this. I do like this elevated crossing of this wide swampy river. And this is a high point for me. I'm loving the route it takes and the angles that everything switches. Everything I like about that, I like about it. Yeah, of course. Here's your lifting bridge. on this canal that runs alongside here, and you're going, but why is there a canal? We'll get to that, I promise you. Background story, we'll get there. Then we've got this roundabout here. There's a couple of bits on either side that go single lane around the roundabout. I'd like to see that double lane. We are subscribed to some of the Cyrus network extension to alternative roads. Sorry, mass transit alternative roads, one or the other. A little bit of clipping through the underside there. So we have got, as you can see here, we've got the 2-lane roads available. There's no reason for us to be having those. Then we head down to what I thought was the start square, but I got a bit lost. Start square, you need to take this turn off here. There's an alternative to start building in this area here. That's not actually where you want to be, but that's all set up ready to go. And then if you head up down from this roundabout here is that start square location. So yes, there's a big old clunky intersection going on down here that we will come back and have a brief look at later. Yes, I know. I'm all for a little bit of creativity on the map. Here's that roundabout with the 2 one-way sections that need to be 2 lanes, in my opinion, just for lane mathematics and lane mathematics purposes only. I don't see that it would cause any glitching or anything there. Tunnel entrances here are a little bit clunky. One's going in at ground level, one's going elevated. But after that point, these are kind of like tiered. One slightly higher than the other highways, and they're done very neatly. I like the route. I like the way they pop in and out just through the tops of these mountains without having to dig too much through them. Everything about this I'm a fan of. And then after this one here, you'll notice we just kind of disappear for a while. We do a big chunk underground, and we'll be coming back to that in the second half of the show for reasons that will become apparent then. A couple more trees clipping through the undersides of the roads there. And then a big old bridge. Everybody loves a big old bridge. Nicely done as well. And another ugly American. Sorry, I'm a European, but you know, these intersections to me are as foreign to me as twiddly little hedge-lined country lanes are to you. You know, it's just... Only, of course, I think most people appreciate that twiddly little country lanes are pretty. And that those intersections are just like, yeah... Not everything American is clunky. A little bit of terrain glitching here because we're elevated at ground level, pushing down into the ground. And then one last bridge as we head off towards the edge of the map. Wow, well there you go. Right, so we've done that. We didn't do a full loop of the bay, but I don't feel we benefit much from that one. Let's have a little look at the rail. And the rail's okay as well, actually. The rail is okay as well. We'll head down this route here. Now, okay, well, I got a few moments. Oh, before we hit everybody's favourite factory. I've got a few moments. I've got some new stuff this year. I have some new stuff. A couple of new shows coming up, which I'm sure you won't have missed if they're up already. I don't know. Don't know when they're going live. I'm recording this a couple of days ahead. But so we've got some new stuff. We've also got a new weekly show available to the BonBon Buddies on Patreon and YouTube membership, which will be showing once a week. It's going to be called What Map Extra, and it'll be for me to have a look at some maps in a little bit more detail. Maybe there's something special on the map that we didn't get a chance to look at in a huge amount of detail, like you know, that clunk intersection, that big multi-tiered thing on this map. It'd give us a chance during the week to maybe spend a bit of time looking at things like that. Every week will be just whatever the shows, a little bit of catenary chaos going on here. Yeah, every week will give us a bit of time to just look at the maps in a little bit more detail, or look at a new mod that's out or something, just anything that I wouldn't get time to do normally in the daily show. Not so sure about the bending on the rail coming off of the bridge there. Very much an S-bend, because I think it's to avoid the tunnel exit. I'd rather move the tunnel exit and have a straighter rail if that was me. Yes, so yeah, if you want to support the channel, that is available. Patreon and YouTube membership at the $2 tier, $2 a month. That's right, $2 a month, and you're going to be getting 4, maybe even 5 new shows a week, depending on this 4 or 5 week month, I guess. Based along the What Map series, and it feels okay. There's a little bit of glitching going along here where we had the over the tunnel entrances, but you know what? I was actually went back and had a look at it, and I felt it fell into the realm of believable. Like if they put soil on top of it, it kind of worked. I'm not saying it's the best thing I've ever seen, but I'm saying it falls into believability and nobody's getting marked down on that today. And then we've got a few custom bridges today from the Railway 2 mod, and that's very nice work as well. There are always one or two. I'm not stopping for every, like, they're sort of how the rail merged in together there a little bit. You might go, that was slightly, you squint, and I go, yeah, it would be. But I'm not sweating over that one. The map's got plenty of interesting features that we can talk about rather than worrying about every little little issue or wiggle that's going on. But anyway, yes, so I'd love it if you could join me as a BonBon buddy. That'd be amazing. If we can get 1 million of you, then basically this becomes a full-time job. I'm not greedy. Straight to the intermission, I feel. Off we go now.
Do your cul-de-sacs look like this? Do you want them to look like this? Then you need the beginner's guide to the perfect cul-de-sacs by BonBonB. Click the information button now.
Back to Swamp on the Rocks by Per Person 25 and shipping routes. A little shipping triangle there. That is fine. And then this, you'll see where that other side of that triangle comes out in a minute. Shipping triangle here and here. And a little bit of a squinty one there. Might be some funny stuff going on depending on where you put your harbours there. Then we go up this canal where we got the lifting bridge, and that is perfectly high enough once it's lifted. This bridge, however, for the vanilla cruiser is just a little bit too low. Just for the vanilla cruiser though. Okay, on the vanilla cargo. And then if you follow this around, you're going to see something a little bit, I mean, it made me laugh out loud at this point, because I thought, well, what? But I hadn't actually read the description. This! Look at this! And we got ships. Look. It's a rockfall. It's a rockfall. And that ties in with the background story on the map. But let's finish off by having a look at the water flow. We've got nice shaped harbour areas. And you can see we have pipes already down in place. So we have fresh water drawing from that location and pumping going down to a little bit further down the canal. So that's your fresh water there. And you're pumping down. We've got a little custom built canal thing going on down here for your sewage outflow, and that works for me. Anyway, right, so the map as a whole, so we have this big harbour area which is like so, and apparently the US had a naval harbour here. You can see how the ships used to sail in and out through that route there. And then there was a big rockfall which basically filled in over here. So we then have that blocked off. Apparently it's too difficult to get ships down and out through this river delta bit over here. But what they thought would be easier would be to dredge the river and create a canal down there for the ships to go in and out. There's your base of your background story. There's more to the background story, but there's the base to it. And that explains the slightly unusual shape to the map. I approve. Right, let's have a look at this. So the lifting bridge. We're not going to see it in operation because, like I say, I haven't got time to set up, and there's no through ships either, so we can wait for as long as we like. Nothing's coming this way. Here's that vanilla sand. Okay, so I like the texture of the vanilla sand personally, but the alpha channel, see how it just blends and we just get this repeated pattern. It's not the prettiest, so I would have chosen a different thing personally. Then under here, I did say we come back here. We've got a first of all, I feel the route is almost about. I'd rather bring it out about here, I feel, but the underground tells us the reason. We have an intersection under there that takes us over to this little valley over here. Now the trees down here are swamping the exit, but it does mean we can get building down here if we want to. I think the angle that those two tunnels coming out at would be nice if they were facing down into the valley, but it's not the world's biggest problem. Then we've got a dam in place. Dam looks pretty useful as well. I did say talk about terrain glitching on roads later on in the show, and here we are. Here's another example of that one. Just a little bit of a squish going on that one. Got the same going on the other side, and we did see one earlier as well, very early on in the show, which we flew over and I didn't make a big thing over. So there's that one there. So yeah, just a little bit of tweaking with the Move It tool, which, yeah, hopefully it'll be working for people. We've got problems with Move It at the moment, guys. You've got the rock there. The troll's cave, the troll looking out over the highway, just making sure everybody's safe. And the quarry, which is bold. I would say beautiful. It's bold. It's the bare minimum. Having said that, on the fields, I don't buy the shapes of these fields at all. I mean, they're aesthetic, but I can't see why farmers would ever choose to have these shapes of fields along here. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. In any world, we've got some fields going up here. I mean, at least they're consistent across the map. But yeah, the shapes are a little bit out there for me. More sand issues where we're just lacking a little bit of sand there, and the trees just look a bit spammed on that island, to be honest. And then, the essential lighthouse in orange, isn't she lovely? Glitching a little bit into the landscape there. That is a one-off, because we do actually have a couple more examples of lighthouses. We've got one over here, which is dimped quite neatly up there. And then we've got another one over the other side, protecting our ships from all of this. So they're okay, but yeah, that first one was a little bit glitched into the environment. That one there, yeah. Whoops. And then down here, I would say this is our water pumping area. But the reason I come down here isn't so much for the water pumping, but for this pier, which looks completely inaccessible. It's really quite high out of the water, that one. So there's that. Ooh, I think we've covered a lot. Have I missed anything? Have I missed that? I don't think I have. I think we can zoom down to Start Square now for our asset of the day. And it's a returner. It's the return of DieHardHunter. Do love DieHardHunter. And Family Dollar, which I actually have factoids, because factoids about Family Dollar. Family Dollar was founded in 1959 by Leon Levine, a 21-year-old entrepreneur. I hate you already. 21. In November of that year, the company's first store was opened in Charlotte, North Carolina. In 1961, 2 years later, the first store in South Carolina opened, followed by stores in Georgia and Virginia, which were opened in 1962 and 1965 respectively. During 1960s, their company was largely a southern United States operation, and by 1969 there were 50 stores in Charlotte alone. 50 stores in one city alone. Leon Levine, I hate you. I just hate you. Anyway, Family Dollar, great asset. DieHardHunter, all of their assets are amazing, and this really does give the feel of like Middle America, slightly abandoned, grotty, grumbly. Perfect, absolutely perfect. That is our asset of the day. But our map of the day, it's different, isn't it? And workable. But what do you think of it? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right corner of your screen, or the link in the description. It will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple, or a Patreon account. But what do I think of it? Well, I like the design, but I don't think the design is aesthetically pleasing. Does that make any sense at all? I think. Like I say, the river mouth, we've got the river mouth, and then we've got this broken up river. Doesn't make any sense to my little head, but I like the way that it's been worked within the backstory. So I'm gonna go 3 stars. I'm gonna go high end of 3 because I like the vision behind the map. Detailing. There's some very neat bits of detailing on the map, and there are a few clunky bits as well. Again, I think we're going to go 3 stars. Let's go medium high 3 on that one. We've got some very nice bridges. Bridge work is pretty strong today. Gameplay potential, a couple of ways of playing it. Base game style, get a good game out of it. Even the scenario style following the story. I like both of those options. I think there's a few good ways. Let's go medium low 4. It looks playable to me, just not enticing. Swamp on the Rocks by per person 25. Again, like I say, they had a vision, they went with it, it fits within the Cities Skylines gameplay mechanics, lots of good work to go on there, and I think credit for doing something a bit different. Yeah, has a ring to it, that map, I feel. But what do you think of it? And what, are you still here? Oh, prove it. You're part of the 20 and out elite if you use the word of the day in the comments, and I'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series. Have a great day, and I'll see you very, very soon.